not a way to
Tricked
your ass.
Frickleronisol. Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of Crushable. I'm Teresa.
I'm Chris.
And we're probably the least serious podcast about wine that you're going to see.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Very much true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So this week we are talking about a wine from Washington, since it is Washington Wine Month, one of two. I believe there's March and August. And we're in March, so we're talking about none other than Syrah from Washington State, specifically Mary Hill Winery.
Those are our peeps right there.
We love Mary Hill Winery. Let's see, put this a little closer for you guys. We love Mary Hill Winery. We actually got engaged at their Golden Dale tasting room / bottling facility.
Yeah, it's their vineyard. It's their main vineyard, as far as I can tell, right?
Yeah.
I have a habit of speaking about things I know nothing about.
As you saw in last episode 1.
That's right.
So yeah, we love them. We frequent the tasting room out here in Vancouver, and we've been to the Golden Dale one a couple times. Like I said, that's where we got engaged.
Yeah.
So this month, we got Terroir from Otis Vineyard. This is like one of our favorite wines from Mary Hill. It's a 2020 vintage from Otis Vineyard. So Otis Vineyard is actually one of the oldest vineyards in Washington, from planted back in 1957, by the Tudor family. So
Tudor?
Tudor.
Tudor.
Tudor. Tudor. Tudor? Tudor. Tudor. I like Tudor. It sounds like fancier.
I mean, you know that there was a royal family in England, the Tudor family, right? Henry VIII, the Tudors.
Did they fuck with wine like the Tudor family?
How do they fuck with wine like we fuck with wine, which is drinking it, blindly on a weekend and then thinking about it on Monday as like, oh wait, what was that one we had?
What was it? The Tudor family. Anyway, so like I said, 2020, this is from Yakima Valley, Washington, Otis Vineyard. 20 months barrel aged, 60% seasoned French oak, and 40% new oak. She's delicioso. I already know it.
We've been smelling this for like 2 hours now.
I've been literally so excited to try this. We've had it a million times. I was thinking about it all day.
Worst swish ever. I really have to figure that out, You
probably shouldn't do it on the table when we're recording a podcast.
I don't know. Can you hear? Oh, yeah, you definitely can hear it. So, as I mentioned at the end of the last episode, that there will be less tapping. Ready? Can't even really hear it.
Let's see.
That's because we had to get new microphones, which are old microphones. And yeah, so now it should sound a lot better. Let us know in the comments, please. Thank you.
All right, this wine, it's like, it's almost giving a little bit of leathery, but like, it smells so good.
Yeah, like dried cherries.
It literally smells so good. Okay, I'm tasting. We're good to go.
Oh, yeah, definitely getting leather out of there. What else? Black currant.
It's so bomb, you guys. I'm telling you. We love her.
Kind of bright. A little peppery.
Definitely peppery.
A little bit of acid. You can get that little wetness on your tongue there.
A little bit of fruit, like maybe a nice blackberry.
Yeah.
I could literally drink this every day. So, we've been trying to record this episode for like a week, but things just keep happening.
It's probably gonna be the title of it. Better late than never.
Truly. So, over, I guess, a couple days ago. Anyway, so our little process that we decided to do is open a bottle of the wine the night before, just so we can like talk about it and stuff, and then the next day record the podcast with the same bottle of wine.
With a second bottle.
With a second bottle of wine, not literally same bottle of wine. A second same bottle of wine. Okay. Anyway, so we've had this wine several times. We're like obsessed. And so we go to open the bottle and we're literally like
Instantly I was like
being gaslit.
Yeah, I'm like babe,
wine.
come smell this. I'm like, does this
I'm like,
smell like no? I was like,
no, this is the rights for Raw. Like this is it.
and like
This is her. I
literally
know it.
for like 20 minutes. We were like we were seriously questioning, is this the right Syrah?
Like our sanity.
Yeah, is this the right one that we got?
It was too much. And so I was like, I don't know. Like, could it be corked? But earlier, like a week before that, we had opened a Bordeaux from 2016 that was without a doubt corked.
Oh yeah, that was
like
1,000,000%. Yeah.
Like mold.
Like, yeah, it was like, it had like a mildew kind of smell to it. Like you could still kind of get wine, but it was almost like this weird kind of, it's weird to say like a watered down smell, but it like literally, it was like a weak red wine, like a weak Bordeaux smell. No, the Bordeaux.
Yeah, the Bordeaux.
It was like a weak, like a very, very muted Bordeaux smell, and that with mildew.
Like a wet dog.
Yeah, and then once we poured it, I don't know if any of you guys have ever had, I don't know if you've ever had like a corked wine before. It tastes like it smells. So don't even bother if you smell it already. I tried.
It won't hurt you to drink it, but it's just not worth it, guys.
Yeah, it literally is disgusting.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. Now this one kind of fucked with us a little because it wasn't nearly at that level.
Yeah. It was like on its way to being corked, I feel.
Yeah. And us being completely ignorant in the whole scene.
We're trying though.
Yeah, that's right. We're trying our dangdest.
We're trying.
But it was one of those things where we were questioning ourselves for a long time. Like literally the next day, we were still asking ourselves about it, to the point where we went to Maryhill, hoping that it was on the tasting menu, just so we could disprove any of our fears.
And then we bought more bottles and came to the conclusion that that bottle was in fact on its way to being corked.
And this evening, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to tell you,
not corked, delicious.
Yes, this is absolutely delicious. Now I remember why we bought these bottles to begin with.
So good.
Yeah.
So more about cork taint. Heavy on the taint, or maybe heavy on the cork. Anyway.
Yeah.
So basically, how that happens, and I got this straight from Wine Enthusiasts. Shout out. So basically, in between the 50s and the 80s, when winemakers, I guess, were getting their corks, there was a fungus or some type of fungi or something,
a blight,
that would interact with the insecticides and fungicides that were sprayed on the tree or like in the crops nearby, so it's still in the soil. So basically, when people are getting corks for their wine, natural cork, obviously, from the bark of cork trees, and corking their wine, there's no way to tell if they have these like fungicides in them.
Ooh.
And so when they cork the wine, it ruins the wine. It gets
That's crazy.
It's called
like not a way
Trick
your ass.
Trichloronisol. We're gonna call it TCA, also known as TCA.
Yeah, we're gonna call it corked.
Yeah, we're gonna call it a cork taint, if you will. So I mean, more and more, this cork taint is less prominent these days. I think, I don't know, maybe because all these trees are dying that had this fungicide in them.
Well, is it fungicide? Because
Fungicide.
isn't that a chemical that is sprayed into the ground to prevent fungus from growing? So that's maybe
Let
I
me
missed the
read.
part.
Let me read it.
Okay.
Okay, straight from Wine Enthusiast, written by Sean P. Sullivan. Okay. TCA is formed in a tree bark when fungi, mold, or certain bacteria come into contact with a group of fungicides and insecticides,
Okay, so it's
collectively referred to as halophenols.
so.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just talking over. I'm just trying to think out loud here. So that means that like humans sprayed it and it caused the problem. It's not even
It's
natural.
always our fault.
Pretty much.
So, I mean, I'm yeah. A group came in contact with a group of fungicides and.
I mean, are there natural?
So, yeah, these
fungicides
were
and
widely used during the 1950s, 1980s and remain in the soil.
Okay. So that's probably why I
So
don't.
they're soaking it up from the soil and it's going into the tree because, like, you are what you eat, people.
Yeah,
Okay?
I'm mac and cheese.
I'm Syrah. So, yeah, the cork trees are soaking up this shit. It's in the corks. It's getting in our wine. It's ruining our Syrahs. But what can you do?
Doesn't cork come from like one specific region in the world?
I don't know.
I mean, originally, yes, but I don't know if it's.
I wonder if that's why, like, screw tops are so hot these days. You know?
They just pop it.
They're just like pop it off with the screw tops. Because I mean, you can't really you're not getting corked from screw tops.
Yeah, I mean,
Your wine can get damaged by like the sun or.
well, but they also say that like with screw tops, you shouldn't store them horizontally.
No, that's like champagne. Isn't that
I think that's
bubbly?
Screw tops too. No, bubbly. Yeah, because that is an interaction with the carbonation and the cork that could cause an issue. Like there's a layer. Oh man, we're watching something about this too. There's a layer between the liquid, like a gas layer, but it has a certain amount of moisture that's like perfect to like maintain that cork in that environment. It's like an interaction between the gases coming off the.
You don't want to lay it sideways.
No, you want to store that vertically.
Yeah, but
I could have swore I heard something about screw tops having like a specific thing.
I don't know.
Maybe I got like 15 million things going through my brain every day. Who knows?
We know, honey.
Too much input, as Johnny Five
We know.
never said.
We knows. So, be aware of TCA, cork taint. Don't let the corks become tainted and the taints become corked.
Dude,
Wait.
that article had it all. Had a pee in there, had some paint. My kind of article.
Oh, honeys.
They know how to grab their audience.
Any hoodles. So more about Maryhill. They have their production facility and a tasting room in Columbia Gorge, Goldendale. Oh my God, stop. Okay. In Goldendale, that's their main one. The Vancouver tasting room right on the waterfront. Amazing. We love them. Woodinville, which is like near Seattle, and then Spokane, which is like on the other side of the state. So they got 4. Maryhill is one of the most visited wineries in Washington for good reason, and they have over 4,000 awards since their first vintage, which was in 2001, I believe.
Holy crap. It's not even that long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys haven't been to Goldendale, to that location, go.
Mm-hmm.
It's right on the gorge.
Beautiful.
It's, who knows, maybe we'll put some pictures up.
Mm-hmm.
But
We got them.
yeah, it is in an awesome spot. Go there when it's nice out. Really not the middle of summer because it gets a little too hot out that way.
Where did we go? Oh, in June. It was fine in June.
Yeah, it was perfect in
It
June.
gets a little windy out there, but it's worth it.
It's the gorge. What are you gonna do?
It's so pretty.
Yeah, about 3 hours from Vancouver, Portland area. But
Mhm.
Well worth it.
So Craig and Vicky Luthold were the ones that founded Maryhill back in 99, and then it took them a couple years to build that facility in Goldendale and then come out with their first vintage in 2001. Yeah, delicious wine. This is probably one of our favorite. What are you doing? I'm on a cheers show. We already cheers, but we're cheersing again. Yeah, this might be my top favorite from Maryhill. I gotta say.
Same, girl. Same.
Amazing. All right, honeys. What do you got for us today?
All right. Well, kind of got me thinking. Got the old gears turning. So as we're trying to understand is it us? Have we caught brain rot? Has something gone on with our noses and our mouth? But no. Turns out it was the cork. It was the bacteria. So with that, then I was like, well, what else are interesting things, or what are like important things for us to start learning about? And obviously we've heard this term quite a lot, but it really didn't dawn on me until like this last like week or two.
What's that?
Terroir.
Terroir.
Yes. So I even have it written down here. The weirdest looking translation of it as far as how it's supposed to be phonetically pronounced, but it makes sense. Terroir. So yeah, terroir.
Terroir?
Yeah.
Like war, what is it good for?
Yes.
Terroir. Got it.
All right. So it's a French term used to describe environmental factors that affect a crop's phenotype. So go back to the crops in a minute, including unique environmental contexts, farming practices, and a crop-specific growth habit or habitat. Sorry. Terroir is the basis of French wine appellation d'origine contrôle, or the AOC. So you've seen this on labels before, AOC. You might even have seen it all spelled out, but that's like the regulation.
What's her name?
Yeah, Ocasio-Cortez.
Not that AOC?
No, not that one.
Okay.
No. Far more exotic.
Oh.
Yes. Instead of Jenny from the block, a few blocks down. So yeah, it says included, blah, 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 which is a model for wine appellation and regulation in France and around the world. So it they're the ones that essentially started that whole thing where they were, unlike the US, the rest of the world goes off of the actual region that the wine was grown in. Instead of it being like a type of wine, it's a region of wine. So that's why you get Bordeaux. That's why you get like, all these different wines.
So it's not the region.
Yeah,
it's both?
It's both.
It's both.
So it's basically the way it works is that the US likes to just categorize it by the type of wine it is. Whereas everywhere else in the world, they like to categorize wine by the region it came from. So that's the thing, is it can be a type of wine, but it has to come from a specific region for it to be considered a specific thing. Yeah. And I'm probably butchering that as far as a layman's kind of
like
explanation.
with this one. So this one we have.
Yeah, like you won't see it. You won't see an appellation. You won't see an appellation usually brought up on the front of the label of a U.S. wine. And it's because
AVAs. What's that stand for?
Oh God. I don't know.
Something viticulture. I don't know. It's like wine.
American Viticulture Association. I don't know. That's the easiest thing I could think of.
I don't know. It's something like to do with the wine regions, though. Like this is Yakima Valley.
Yes,
but it's not called Yakima Valley. It's called Syrah.
Exactly. It's kind of like with champagne. How you could literally drink a wine that is made exactly the same way as champagne, but it wasn't produced in the Champagne region. So it cannot be called champagne.
So exclusive.
That's right. So, yeah, anyways, and so the grapes are grown, the land in which the grapes are grown imparts a unique quality that is specific to that growing site. That is the plant's habitat. So again, we're talking about Otis Vineyards, things like that, the 2 to 15% grade of where these grapes were grown. That's all part of terroir. Terroir. That's right. It's not just the weather. It's not just the rainfall or lack thereof. It is the actual soil, the type of soil. That's why, like, if you go to a tasting room, especially with Mary Hill, you'll see they actually have the soil up in jars.
Yes.
Every single tasting room has it. And that's part of terroir. It's showing you what type of soil is actually in that region for that type of grape or
really
that
cool.
vineyard.
At Mary Hill. Well, at least at the Vancouver one. I don't know
And
the
Golden.
other ones.
Yeah,
They
Golden
have it
Death.
too?
Yeah.
Oh.
You get them all over the walls.
If I have a picture, we'll post it over her. But yeah, they have like their different vineyards that they source from, I guess, and then they have the type, like literal dirt on the wall.
Yeah, like a milk bottle.
Yeah, the type of dirt that the vineyard has. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So this isn't synonymous with the French, even though they kind of are dictating the modern standards for wine. The Greeks also had a similar thing. So they called it good word, amphore.
Amphore?
Yeah, amphore. So, and what that would is they would stamp amphore, and then it would be with the seal of the region it came from. So again, regional wine is really all they care about. They didn't really give a crap what kind of grape it was and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, weird.
They cared about the region it was grown in and the terroir.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool too. And then for centuries, literate and disciplined members of the Benedictine and Cistercian orders cultivated grapes in much of Burgundy. So that's another big region in France, obviously. With vast land holdings, the monks could conduct large-scale observation of the influences that various parcels of land had on wine it produced. So they were growing essentially the same grapes. But
Sneaky.
because they were in different areas throughout
terroir.
So yeah, because they were all over in the Burgundy region, they were able to start record keeping and how these grapes were growing compared to one another, how they tasted compared to one another, whole bunches of different things. So that was kind of like the lead in to terroir being an actual word, a term used.
Yeah.
So it's cool. And some legends have monks establishing the boundaries of different terroirs, many of which still exist today as the Grand Cru vineyards in Burgundy. Couple other things. So I mentioned crops, not just grapes, even though I have never heard it anywhere else. But it can affect other types of foods, or could be used to describe the growing regions of other foods, such as cheese, coffee.
Growing region of cheese?
Yes. Or like the cows with, the grass they eat. Single malt whiskey, onions, and tea. Now, tea I can understand.
All of that makes sense except for cheese.
Yeah, tea I can understand. Coffee, I can get it. I don't know. I feel like when I moved out here in 2019, I kind of got thrust into the coffee culture. Shout out Toby, coworker. He really pushed it on me. I was literally like an idiot with coffee. I was like, let me just dump a bunch of honey in there so I don't taste the coffee. And then I realized, honey is like super not good for you to just ingest like that. I might as well have just chugged like sugar water.
No, it's good.
But I mean, that was my thing. I just really didn't care about how coffee tasted, mainly because the only place I ever drank it was work, and nobody gave two shits about the coffee we drank at work. So then I come out here and we get Stumptown. We get on their mail order thing. Man, I start going bananaramas. Now, every morning, what are we doing? I'm making you a Chemex. We're doing pour over.
Not only do we love wine, but we love
more of that.
Coffee.
But yeah, but I always was thinking with coffee, at least, that it was more on the roasting than it was on the region.
Probably both.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true, because our old neighbor Rob, when he mentioned first crack, because he would roast his own coffee, and it was like, he's like, yeah, it's the same for all coffee. That's literally what you're like roasting to hear is that first crack, and then at that point, it's like a countdown. and you're just looking for color and consistency. So I don't know. Maybe I wasn't putting two and two together.
Terroir has something to do.
Terroir. What is it good for? Absolutely great wine. Don't mind me. So yeah, that's a little bit about what we got going on. That's why Syrah, which it is originally a Northern Rhone region wine. So that's one of those things. Again, researching this and looking up terroir and all that, I was like, I didn't know there was a North and a South region, and the South region is more white wine based, whereas the North is more red wine based.
I never knew.
Yep. And it's because of the terroir.
Terroir.
Yep. It's more conducive to red wine grapes up there because it's a bit colder. Does not get as hot for as long in the summers. So it's, more conducive to these red grapes. They like it cold. They like it rough.
This is so good.
Yeah, heck yeah, it's so good. But now Syrahs are grown all over the place. You got Australia, New Zealand, U.S.,
Washington State.
Yeah. So a little bit of some Cork Dork knowledge there.
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right, folks, we got a little decanter banter, if you will. It's not exactly great news, so we're here to spread awareness.
Yes.
To you, who probably likes wine as well, like us, or you just love us as people, so you're watching our podcast, and that's just as good. So, the title of this article is Wine Sales Drying Up as Americans Turn Elsewhere. It's from NBC News, written by Ash Reynolds, trying to spread awareness also. So wine sales have fallen from 2023 to 2024, 6%.
Which doesn't sound like a lot, but
I feel like that is
it is.
Yeah, that is a lot. Obviously we know, I mean, I definitely know, in 2020, wine sales went up because of Coronis. I mean, I'm sure all alcohol sales went up during that time. I know I was buying extra wine.
Did you know this? Did you know
What?
That there was like heavy restrictions on like the sale of like toilet paper, obviously, but like a bunch of other stuff too. But for some reason, like stores were being like limited on the amount of people they would let in and all this. But for some reason, like alcohol, like alcohol stores, there was like, I mean, at that point, I wasn't really drinking wine. Like I really wasn't drinking that much anyways. But yeah, apparently there was like no restrictions on alcohol sales, like
Of course not.
for anything.
Why would there be?
So it was like hilarious that like you got Walmart and grocery stores and all this having to do these ridiculous things to appease the government, with all the mandates. And meanwhile, liquor stores are like, hey, come on, get your drink on.
Literally. Well, I know I got my drink on in 2020, that's for sure. Anyway, so not just wine sales have fallen, but all alcohol sales have fallen. Couple of reasons why this is happening. So, our boomers, our moms and dads and grandpas or grandmas and whoever you got, they really loved wine. And so everyone was like, we're all just going to keep loving wine.
Yeah, boomers were booming.
They were booming
when it came to the
wine.
The who wine.
And us millennials didn't really, or Gen
Yeah, we're
X?
too busy.
Gen X is after boomer,
Yes.
and then millennials.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gen X.
Yeah.
Who's after Gen Z? Is after millennials?
No, wasn't that
And
one of
Gen
the
Alpha is like the children. Okay, anyway. So boomers loved wine and everyone was just thinking we're picking up after them, and it really hasn't. Like millennials were really not loving wine as much as our moms and pops did,
I'm too busy playing Minecraft and dabbing, planking.
Oh my god, planking.
Remember that?
Like I was like in high school, I think. when that happened.
I mean, I don't know. I look at it
I
as
enjoyed it.
yeah, like I mean, so
Thought it was stupid but funny.
so I also saw something again. I'm not a reader. I'm a watcher. On the old YouTubes, Forbes was doing an interview with the president of forget some winemakers guild down in California. And it was like a long form, hour-long interview with this person about the current industry and future.
Oh yeah.
And one thing that kind of shocked me, and although I was being a little opportunistic with some of my thoughts, was that there are wine growers in California currently that are essentially giving grapes away to clear their fields. So they can't sell enough of them at the moment. So they're giving them away
That's
before
depressing.
just to clear the fields for the next season. So
What the-
obviously a piece of me was like, drive down.
That's so depressing.
But yeah, it is really sad when you think about it. The fact that that's what they're reduced to. And I mean, I don't know. There's a little yin and yang to this because obviously the industry was very slow going for a long time. You know, the
in the US?
yeah, the tasting heard around the world or whatever they call it, you know, where put California on the map back in the 60s, late 60s, I believe. Yeah, all of us, or no, was it the same? Yeah, I think it was 6. But yeah, it was one of those things where even after that, it still took almost 2 decades for it to really start ramping up from then, you know? And before that, I mean, Prohibition just kind of slaughtered the whole industry and there really wasn't a lot left after because they all transitioned, but they became successful with that transition. So why the hell go back to this other thing that now is like persona non grata? So that was one of those things where in the 80s, mid to late 80s, things started taking off. Boomers started booming. My parents, some of them, I mean, I almost felt like they were counting the days till me, their babiest of baby boys, got out of their fucking house. Because all of a sudden they start getting crates from Napa, from Sonoma Valley, all these places.
Over to the East Coast.
Yeah, literally drinking champagne with dinner. Like, that's degenerate behavior, if you ask
But was
me.
it champagne?
It was well, it was sparkling wine. Sorry.
Yeah, it didn't come from the Champagne region.
Yeah,
Like,
well, they, you know, God forbid you tell them that. But, I mean, first of all, ew.
champagne?
Yeah, with dinner. Ew. Ew. I've never seen a food pairing with champagne unless it's chocolate or dessert or something. Come on now, not corn on the cob.
I don't know. Do people pair champagne with food?
I mean, you probably could. I don't see why not. But again, it would be like lighter fare, like fruits, desserts type stuff.
Lighter fare.
Yeah, lighter fare.
Um,
But yeah, so
yeah.
it was one of those things where, I mean, it kind of sucks, you know, but it's almost like everything else in life. There's an ebb and a flow.
That's true.
This is now a flow, right? Wait, ebb.
Is it ebb?
It's an ebb. Ebb is
Flow?
retreating. Flow is.
Wait, no. Ebb. Flow?
Yeah, so like waves, they flow in and they ebb back.
Oh,
So
we're in an ebb.
we're in an ebb right now.
In an ebb.
We're ebbing hard.
Damn millennials.
Yeah.
Just kidding, I'm a millennial.
Yeah, get your shit together. Stop drinking friggin' White Claws.
So yes, that's one of the other issues. People are buying more like pre-mixed drinks, so like the seltzers or just like pre-made cocktails. I think mostly.
Seltzing.
Yeah, pre-mixed drinks. Wine's taking the biggest hit on this. Beer and just like spirits are also taking a hit. But yeah, pre-mixed drinks. Shout out. I mean, I don't know. Well, if I'm like going to the river or something or the lake, I'm probably buying a mixed drink.
I mean, it's
a pre-mixed drink. I'm not bringing a bottle of wine. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I mean, maybe like once you get back to the campsite or something.
Yeah, if you're like camping,
yeah.
But if you're like
rafting,
yeah, you're bringing a seltzer.
I will say, I mean, like with Alaska Airlines, a lot of wine that they have now is in cans. So I'd be down for that. There are some companies, especially up here in the Pacific Northwest, that are canning their wines.
True. It is true.
Yeah.
Let's see. What is else? People think it's bad for their health. Okay, nerds. Anyway, wine is harder to drink just because you got the cork opener. I don't know if you guys have ever bought a bottle of wine and then you're like, how am I gonna open this? I've been there. It's not great. I have resorted to, and I'm not proud of this, but I'm gonna tell you guys, a screwdriver. Screwdriver. We had to. We had no other choice. And it worked. I'm gonna tell you. It worked.
I mean, it's almost like those ones that go on the outside with the little metal fingers. Just get down in there, wedge it up. Yeah.
That would have been probably smarter. But yeah, just we use a screwdriver.
That's why you have me now, babe.
Also, the legalization of marijuana. People are switching to marijuanas.
Fucking stoners.
Instead of wine, which is like, I'm happy for you. I mentally can't do that. I can't do it. I'm happy.
Running the same my love.
I'm happy for you, but
I tried desperately. I tried. I literally was on like a spirit journey for years. Trying to find the right strain and all that. No. None of it.
That is fake news.
I am literally that kid from that PSA melted into the couch. That's me after 2 hits a week. All they had to do was like have me light up a joint on set. I would have been that kid without any special effects.
I used to be okay, but now I'm not okay. And I just love wine. Anyway. Also just like non-alcoholic stuff. It's coming along.
Yeah.
Non-alcoholic beers. They even have non-alcoholic wines, which is wild. Those have tripled in sales since 2019. Non-alcoholic.
Okay.
Non-alcoholic beverages.
Which is like, I mean, the whole like near beers and stuff, like O'Doul's, I don't get it.
Not it.
Yeah. Especially like that caliber of beer. Like, so we have a friend who doesn't drink, but he likes non-alcoholic beers, but he gets like the good ones. He gets like pale IPAs and
I just don't like beer anyway, so we could never waste it.
See, me, I like the flavor of those more like crafty ones. But like O'Doul's, you're literally replicating a piss beer, like
that's a little weird.
Without any benefit.
And that one's been it's been like around for a long time.
Here, let me date myself, as I do almost daily with you. First time that I was ever, we had a convenience store up in New Hampshire, Market in the Pines, off of 16.
That was freaking bunghole again.
No, it was way up there in Tamworth, New Hampshire.
Oh, okay.
So I got moved up there at the ripe old age of 15. The time where I'm supposed to be making lifelong friends, my parents were like, nope. So then I go up to New Hampshire, and my lifelong friends then become the kids I partied with, because what else were we going to bond over up there? So one of them had a friend that worked at Market in the Pines. And for $20 each, we could raid their cooler right before they closed.
Did you say their name?
No.
Okay, don't say their name.
Well, I don't even remember what her name is.
I'm sure she doesn't work there anymore, but also don't incriminate yourself. Did you say the name of the place?
Yeah, who cares? Statute of limitations. I'm dating myself.
It was like 30 years ago.
1998. There you go. So yeah, we're good. We're all right. But the first time I ever went in there,
obviously no cameras then.
Yeah, so we had our one friend who was friends with that person. He would like always be the guy to go, like we just give him money, he'd go get it. And then finally one day he was like, you can all go there, right? Like pick out whatever you want. So we all went. What did I get? O'Doul's.
You're an idiot.
Literally paid $20 for 2 12-packs of O'Doul's.
You're literally an idiot.
And I'm sitting there.
That is so...
Story of my life. So we're sitting there, we're playing our normal card game, Asshole. If you've never heard of it, it's the greatest drinking game ever. And I am hammering beers. I'm slugging them back left and right. I'm like, dude.
Did anybody know?
Yes, they all did, and they kept their mouths shut. Yeah, they kept their mouths shut until finally I said something and they all burst out in laughter. But it was one of these things. I'm sitting there and I'm like drinking up a storm. And I'm like, how am I not drunk yet?
You're like, I have hit like such a heavyweight right now.
I was like, I have hit God tier level drunk. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. So So I'm just slamming beers. I'm like, bah, bah, bah. I'm like, yeah, make me the asshole. I don't care. Fuck you. I'm like sitting there just mouthing off to everybody, just trying to get them to make me drink because I'm like, you can't hurt me tonight.
You're
then
like 15.
Finally, I was like, dude, I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm like 7 beers deep and I don't feel nothing. And then they all started laughing. They're like, look at the fucking can. I'm studying it. And all of a sudden I see 0% alcohol. I'm like, God damn it.
Can't believe you.
By that point, Mark and the Pines is already closed for hours. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, you're.
So,
Oh
yeah.
my God, that is literally ridiculous.
You know, maybe that's why I have such a strong bias against non-alcoholic beer. I don't know. But I will say that the double IPA and the pale that I've had before, that's actually good because it's got the good flavor from it, just not the alcohol.
Okay, but whose side are you on here?
For what?
We're trying to promote and spread awareness for.
I know.
wine.
I'm giving anecdotal stories
I'm
here.
just
Kiss
kidding.
those face. That's what I do.
I'm just kidding.
But I will say, so like the current tariff situation where the old people of France starting to threaten tariffs. Or sorry, no, that wasn't France. That was our president threatening tariffs on French wine.
Literally everybody.
Yeah, booze and wines. But I will say that actually is a blessing in disguise because we're talking about the California wine industry and the industry as a whole in North America, having a hurting at the moment. Whereas that will influence people to buy more North American wine.
You mean American wine?
Well, just North American wine. There's wine that's made up in Canada that's affected as
Even
well.
Canada hates us.
Well, yeah, but still, it's one of those things where they're still importing wine over to us and they're not having tariffs put on it like France is and Italy. I don't think Italy is. I think France is the one with the wine.
I feel like Canada is mad at us.
Well, no, they're pissed, but it's more of taking stuff off of their shelves. They still are going to try to take our money. Why not? Why the heck not?
I don't know about that, but
And they don't produce enough wine for that to be the same to hit as hard.
That is
so
true.
So yeah, they'll still benefit, if anything, just like California, Oregon, Washington, all these wonderful places around us.
Yeah. So if you're here, you probably already like wine, but buy some more. You're probably going to have to buy American wine, and you probably should. You probably should buy a 2020 Syrah from Otis Vineyard made from Mary Hill Winery.
And you're going to fucking like it.
You will. So this is like good news and bad news, depending on who you are. Wine prices are about the same as they were in 2012 as they are right now.
Hell yeah.
That's like good for us, but like sad for literally any person in the wine industry, I feel.
You know, I will say again, YouTube gives you the benefit of all the comments. And that was a comment or a group of comments I saw a lot of.
What?
Was the sentiment of how making international wines priced at the same level as American wines, how that's actually like a net negative. Because
For America?
yes.
Yeah.
Well, just in general, because what that does is that
Also, I mean, like,
that degrades little by little. It chips away and degrades the overall quality of wines worldwide.
well, yeah. And I mean, like, shipping costs, it's like, that means, like, if you can buy a bottle of wine from, like, Bordeaux or whatever for the same price that you can buy a bottle that was made an hour away from here, it's like all that shipping costs and everything.
That's like this bottle.
It's hidden somewhere. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
Right now, this bottle is about $40.
Yeah.
You could get another Syrah from somewhere around the world for just about the same amount of money.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
You know, and the crazy thing is that's factoring in fuel, transportation, like all these things.
I mean, that's with like,
And this is very minimal on that end compared
Right.
to the actual production itself.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I always think about too, like my dad is a truck driver and he often will take wine bottles from the Bay Area up to Washington State and then take wine bottles from Washington State down to the Bay Area. I'm like, can we just like figure that out?
Yeah, that's kind of wild. Like that's where I feel.
Why are we doing that?
I feel like there's a lot of those like kind of behind the scenes issues that like
Easy.
there's bigger things to talk about in different industries, and then that's like one of those aspects where it's like we should be ramping up like local like tradesmen.
Yeah.
Bottle making, barrel making, like all these things. And it seems like, yeah, there's a lot of back and forth with
Like we don't
transportation.
have to do all that.
Yeah.
Can we just figure it out?
Right? But again, it's one of those things where we're in an era right now where it's all hands on deck for industrialization, that kind of stuff, where smaller craft businesses are just going by the wayside. Hopefully that corrects. That's my hope, at least. I mean, up here, we're a little privileged, so to speak,
We're totally spoiled.
because people have the means to be able to do that and keep it alive. But
And the wine is so good. So anyway, buy more wine. Drink more wine.
yeah.
Probably from Washington State or Oregon or California. But anyway, it's gonna be good. So buy local.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, as we spelled out in our first episode, we are not going to cut this show off until we start to whine about some things. So, my darling, what do you got to whine about this week?
This week, I'm whining about. Oh my gosh, thank you.
You're like,
I'm whining about a fairly recent iPhone update. And that is that there's no more robotic Siri. There's only AI Siri.
there is only Zool.
And I miss robot Siri. Danger.
There's so many things I'm trying not to hit over here.
I miss robot Siri. I don't like all this AI shit.
Wasn't she a real person though?
I don't.
I'm pretty sure that was a real woman.
Well, she sounded like a fucking robot, and I want her back. I now have like Australian Siri.
Well, you picked it.
She came on. Look at her. Hey Siri. What's up, girl?
Hi, Teresa. How can I help?
See, I don't like that.
That didn't sound very Australian to me.
She's Australian.
I mean, I'd heard it before. I'm just saying that didn't sound very Australian. Maybe say, hey, can you say something in Australian?
Don't they just speak English? Hey Siri, can you say something in Australian?
I can't translate into Australian English.
See? That
Because
was
it's
it right there.
English. It's English.
Yeah, but the way she said it, that's what I'm saying. The way she said the last thing, I'm like, that didn't sound...
That's what I'm saying. I don't like it. I want robot Siri. Okay.
I can't believe they don't have like an option for that. See, that's like way over my head. I nerd out over things that actually matter.
They might, but I changed it to that because I feel like they made me change it, but maybe they didn't. I don't know, but I don't like it. I miss robot Siri. I miss her.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you.
And I'm talking to this Australian girl. Dude, today I had her read one of your texts that you sent me, like in my car.
It's
So,
like Rocco's Modern Life. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
He reads it out loud, and I literally was like, what the I was like, I couldn't understand. I was like, because of her Australian accent, I think. I was like, I literally have to like read this while I'm driving.
Didn't you originally have an Australian dude?
No.
Oh, I thought you picked an Australian dude.
I was straight to Australian chick.
Woman.
What is male Siri's name?
I don't fucking... Dude, seriously, I've never used Siri. I don't care.
You don't use her?
No.
Oh my God.
I don't care for
Dude,
it.
the reminder,
They're listening anyways. I'm not going
That's
to
true.
play into
Yeah, so you might as well make it worth it. I'd be like, yo, Siri, set a reminder for Monday at 9 a.m. to do this. And it's like the best. Then you get a little notification. Or I'll be like, Siri, remind me to change the laundry in 30 minutes. And then she reminds me. It's literally That's the only thing she.
I mean, I will say there was this comic. I'm trying to remember which one it was. But anyways, so it was like back in the 60s, and it was two women on the phone or two men on the phone. It was like, shh, Big Brother's listening. And
I
then
think they were listening then.
yeah, and then it's like people today. It's like, hey, Big Brother, can you get me a recipe for brownies?
No, please. At this point, yeah, like they're gonna listen. We might as well just like, I don't know. Unless you're gonna throw your phone away and like live off the grid, then
Even then, they probably have a way to. I mean, they got satellites, they got everything else.
that's true.
They got hypersonic missiles.
Google
They
Maps.
can listen to you from space.
Google Maps. I grew up in Northern California.
The fact they could 3D almost.
So you
here.
could like zoom in on all the weed farms. You guys remember that? You
Never knew that was a
could.
thing.
Oh my God, 100%. And this is like,
And yet they still existed.
I haven't lived there since 2017, and that was before that. You're zooming in on the weed farms, bro. You don't remember that?
I never want.
Oh my God.
Up on the East Coast, that was never a thing.
Golden Triangle, baby. So stupid. But anyway, bring back robots here. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
What are you whining and crying about over there?
Maybe AI, bots, maybe real people. Who knows? I saw a thing today
Yep.
where it was talking about internet traffic for the last month,
Oh.
and it was Africa and India had the most internet traffic by like double the US
Well, yeah.
last month. Yeah, I'd like to file a complaint about the snipers of eBay.
Yeah, that's
Not great.
messed up.
Not great. So, as we have alluded to, we're getting married, and my good friends over at YouTube, they turned me on to the idea of you don't have to get a brand new bespoke suit.
Yeah.
eBay is a treasure trove. So we're like a little spoiled already with Goodwill down the street from us. Never in my life. And this is a kid that, for lack of a better way to put it, defined the Salvation Army find back in 7th and 8th grade. I feel like I was on that leading edge of grunge fashion.
30 years ago.
At least. But it was one of those
God, it
things.
actually almost was 30 years
Yeah, I
ago.
wouldn't doubt it. I don't know. I stopped paying attention. But no, it was one of those things where it was like, you could walk into Salvation Army, like the one in my hometown of Haverhill. You could walk in there. First of all, it was massive compared to what I see now. And it was 2 floors.
What?
Get that, 2 floors. First floor was all closed. Floor downstairs was all home furnishing. It was all that. Oh yeah, it was wild. It was huge.
I've never been to a 2-story.
But the amount of work shirts you can get for like 50 cents a piece. I mean, I had some of the awesomest t-shirts ever in my life. I still think about these t-shirts. I'm like, maybe I should recreate them. Like my favorite one
Yeah.
that my brother ruined on purpose.
Of course.
Big giant letters said balls.
Cute.
Tiny little letters above it says bowling.
Oh my God. Amazing.
Random find at Salvation Army in 8th grade. But so, yeah. So, and then, every so often, ever since high school, I like pop into on it. I'm just kind of like, it's so boring.
Our local Goodwill is.
Yeah. So we move over
Yeah.
to West Vancouver, and she goes over there one day, and you text me and you're like, OMG, babe, we have to come back here. And you were like trying to like give me a little insight on it. And I was like, we're going later today. Like, we're going back.
So I went to Goodwill twice in one day.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
And I'm on a mission, as all people in some kind of midlife crisis. I want to start looking better. I'm not trying to be Mr. T-shirt and jeans guy anymore. So I immediately went over to the suit section. Holy freaking shit.
They
Dude,
have so much good stuff.
it is literally like Mecca for used jackets,
Mhm.
pants, and it was nuts.
Like nice
Still,
stuff.
I still brag about, I got 2 normally retail for $350 Tommy Hilfiger sport coats. $20 a pop. They look brand new.
Yeah.
It's wild. And they fit me already perfectly almost. Like, I got to get them tailored a little. Gotta get them altered a little.
Nice.
So yeah. So now I'm on the look online, and I'm on eBay, and so this is like yesterday, and I start texting her. She's still at work, and I'm like, holy shit, babe. Like, I'm finding like these like $2,000-$3,000 suits. They're like $100. I'm like, this is nuts. And she didn't believe me. I'm sending her screenshots. I'm like, look. I'm like, this is nuts. Because originally I was like, yeah, I'll pay $1,800 for a bespoke suit. I found this company based out of Hong Kong that travels around the US twice a year. I was like, I'll just go to one of their fittings and then I'll get my suit there and then I have it forever. F that. No.
Yeah.
So I find this one suit last night and it's literally no bids, no reserve, no buy it now. But it was $44.44. $2,300 98. Oh wait, no, $2,398. That's how you're supposed to say it. There we go. That's how much that suit goes for retail. And it's $44.44 on eBay. And it is literally my measurements. We took my measurements, wrote them all down.
Oh, I did.
And everything was identical to these measurements. I'm like, holy shit, we did it. We found the jackpot. This is it. Put a bid on it this morning or last night. And there was like 8 hours to go. Woke up this morning, checking it. And then I just got sidetracked with work. And then 10 minutes after the auction ended, I was like, oh, let me go look. Thinking there was like barely any watchers or nothing. Then all of a sudden I go on eBay and it's like, you've been outbid. I look at it. I was outbid like the last 5 seconds. So then I'm like, this is a fucking conspiracy. I'm like, I don't use eBay often.
I was gonna say I've never bought anything on eBay.
I used to use it religiously.
I've never.
And I
bought
always
anything
won.
eBay.
Yeah, it was nuts, man. I was using it all the time in the 2000s. And I sold a car on there. Yeah, it was.
You sold a car on
I
eBay?
picked a dude up from the Worcester airport. He flew in to buy my 73 Dodge Polara. But yeah.
That's so weird.
Right? But it was one of those things where like I'm a shitty seller because I don't understand the value of my stuff and I just assume, oh, people are gonna go into a bidding war, and then it's one fucking bid and then that's it.
How much did you sell your car for?
I put it on there for like $1,000 and he was like, I think the only bidder. I bought it for $1, so whatever.
You bought the car for $1?
Yeah.
From who?
My brother.
Oh.
Yeah, because him and my dad were.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, they were all into.
Did you buy it on fucking eBay for $1?
No. He bought it for like $600 down in Oklahoma or Texas or something, and then I bought it off of him like a year after he bought it for $1 because he just wanted to get rid of it.
Only nice thing he ever did for you.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway.
So yeah. Anyways, so yeah. Then I'm like, I'm outraged because now all the history, everything's coming back, and I'm like, dude, how many fucking times have I sold something on eBay? And it's a single bid and they win. I'm like, this tells me that either the account that outbid me is in cahoots with this dickhead, or it literally is a burner account of that dickhead and he's doing it.
Why would they profit from buying their own stuff to try to sell it for more later?
Funny you should ask, my love. So I looked it up, as any super upset and reactionary person would do. And yeah, so there's 2 things. There's sniping and there's shilling. Sniping is the act of timing a bid perfectly to outbid everybody else in an auction. So that's just a random person doing it, knowing that if
you
they
can time a bid.
Well,
are you like sitting there like waiting? Like
I'm sure you can do that, but yeah, you set an alarm or whatever. A reminder to go on the last 5 minutes. And then you just sit there for 5 minutes and watch to see.
That's smart. That's what I would do.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. And that's where it's like, I want to get upset. And then the more that I'm like reading Reddit posts and other posts like elsewhere, I'm just like, they got me dead to rights, these sons of bitches.
But also could have been like a bot probably.
Well, there are bots that exist for that kind of stuff, and it's for the act of these people reselling. So what they'll do is they'll do like, they can set increments. So they can do $5, $10, $20 increments, and they'll keep upping the bid as long as they get outbid until they finally hit the magic number. And that's it. But then they can also set a max. So they're not even doing it half the time. They just have a category. The AI or whatever it is fills up a list and then they click what they want to bid on. And then they set when they want to start bidding on it.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's something that's been around for a long time. But then you have shilling. That's the dark side of eBay. So that apparently is becoming more and more of an issue with eBay. And that's where I was like,
Not.
so that is the act of using an account that is not linked to your seller account to drive up the price of an auction you're running. And that is something that eBay is apparently struggling with pretty bad. They're trying to come up with like,
But why? I don't think that this was the case. I think this was.
no, I just
pretty
think I got
aggressive.
sniped. I mean, it's because I wasn't paying attention. I was just like, dude, that's been on here for 6 days and no one's bid on it. Fuck, yeah, of course I'm going to do it. Set my reserve or my max bid to $75 and they want for 76. Something like that. They probably set it for 100 and then that was it.
That's so annoying.
Yeah. And my whole thing was like 75 is my max, like whatever. I'm not like in a hurry at the moment. But it's still one of those things where
Nice, though.
it's annoying because it's like you wanna think the best of the internet. And yet it consistently gets shown the worst.
Come on.
It's
Come out.
it is just getting more and more consistent as the days go by. But yeah, so that's what I got to whine about.
We be one.
Yeah. Now on the other hand, the glass always has to be half full. So you're half full, my one and only.
Apple.
Yeah.
Apple.
Well,
I'm sticking with the iPhone theme.
ooh.
I'm really enjoying the stickers.
True. We're having a blast with those.
How you can like create little stickers.
The fact that you can use
pictures.
live pictures
Oh my gosh, yes.
to
we
do
have so many good
animated
ones
pictures.
of our dog and our cat. Cat's right here. You can't see her.
Yeah, if you look at her, I think it was your Instagram. I don't know if it was a story or a post where you showed like we literally had a whole conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Stickers of our dog Finn.
I've just been. Yeah, so iPhone stickers. Great. Love it. Add them to all your conversations. Take screenshot of memes. Do those.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Need a pointer on how to do it. I think we figured it out. It took me forever. I saw you started posting stickers on text. I'm like, how the fuck are you doing that?
You can even do live ones. so
Yeah,
don't
I'm the one that
worry.
figured out the live ones.
I don't know if you figured it out.
Oh, I figured it out all right because I just tapped on a picture and I was like, wait. And then I tapped on one that wasn't a live pic and I was like, why isn't it doing it?
Oh,
I realized, oh, it has to be a live picture.
Oh, we love the sticker.
So yeah, heck yeah, very nice.
What about you?
Well, we have been cooking just as much as we have been drinking.
That's true.
And ever since we moved into this
Good.
place, I feel like all praise be to our gas range. I feel like that is the
Really makes a
linchpin of,
big difference.
yeah, because we had a glass top before and
Good.
that thing sucked. Oh my God. So
We're just cleaning it is.
well, not even that. So cast iron and carbon steel naturally warps on it.
Oh, really?
Yes. You never noticed that? Well, yeah, we were using the nonstick quite a bit. But yeah, so that was something I didn't realize. And I'm like, ooh, carbon steel. I'm going to get into carbon steel. And I get my first carbon steel pan. The first time I crank it on, it doesn't even get to temp yet. And it's rocking. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, is this thing warped from the factory? And then it cools off after I'm done with it. And it's flat again. I'm like,
Really?
yeah. So then I started looking it up. And yeah, apparently like induction ranges and stuff like that, like glass top.
So weird.
Yeah, like because it's technically like an indirect heat source. So it causes the metal to like act weird.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I did
so-
not know that.
That was actually one of my biggest criterias for finding a new place.
That's like your only criteria.
Yeah, I was
Not
like,
your only one, but you're like
that was the only one I kept bringing up.
top 3.
You would send me links to places. I'm like, nope. Didn't even need to look at any other pictures of the kitchen pic because I'm like, not doing
I
it.
know. It
Not
does
doing it.
make a difference.
And I feel like that has leveled our game up so much.
Yeah, we stay cooking. I won't lie.
I mean, like the French omelet, like being able to do that and not have to fidget with the fucking controls as much as we are messing with the pan.
So buttery.
Yeah, so But yeah, that, and then we got the griddle, the cast iron griddle that we can use now.
Yeah, we love online up
Yeah.
our cooking game.
Yeah. So I like it. I like being able to learn the settings of something and to never have to fidget with it again. And I feel like we've done that
Mhm,
with
mhm.
just going a natural gas.
Good show.
So nice. Well,
What?
it's a good point to leave it on. I'm sure we'll be using that range at some point here in the next 24 hours, as we are wont to do. But we'll leave it off there, ladies and gentlemen. We did it. We did another one.
Episode number 2.
Better late than never. Babe, had fun.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Bye, everybody.